I can see her lying back in her satin dress, in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.
So happy Homebrew Wednesday, everybody. You know, it's Tuesday, but I wanted to go ahead and film this today. So there you go. This is my newest IPA. I was going to call this Westward Ale. Westward Ale, because it's a West Coast IPA, and West Coast IPAs are coming back. But with current events, I decided to name this Go F Yourself IPA, because I think it's a more appropriate name. So anyway, you saw the brew day last, I did this a couple of weeks ago, I think. Maybe 3 weeks ago. It was the week before I did the skiing trip, and that was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, it was like 3 weeks ago I did this brew day. It was two-row, a little bit of Munich, and a little bit of Carapels, and Cascade Simcoe hops with bittering was CTZ. It's about 62 IBUs. I wanted to go with the Cascade because hadn't used Cascade in a while, and I wanted to get the kind of classic West Coast grapefruit kind of flavor and feel. And oh man, look at that great head on that thing. Look at that. That is just, I mean, look at that little mountain of the head there. Yeah, this thing is just a gorgeous beer. The color is awesome. Yeah, it's just, I love it. Aroma's good. I did a dry hop for about only 3 days. I read somewhere that 3 days was kind of what you want to do for a dry hop, and this was the first time I brewed an IPA in my conical. So dry hopping, I took a hop bag and fishing wire and kind of dropped it down in there for 3 days. And then I was kind of careful when I was, and then I didn't ferment under pressure. I fermented with a blow-off tube, but when I did the dry hop, I put it under pressure, so I had about, I don't know, 10 psi on it. But I realized when I went to put it into my keg, because I didn't cold crash it or anything, I put a bouncer on it, a bouncer filter, to filter it into the keg, and it seemed like there was a lot of foam, a lot of excess. And I don't think it was foam. I think it was it was foam, but it was caused by the CO2 separating in the bouncer filter. I've read that before, and I guess when you have it sitting there under 10 psi for several days, it tends to build up some CO2. So it's not surprising there was a lot of kind of foam going in. But still, I mean, it's nice and clear, right? And it'll clear up even more. The color is just gorgeous on this thing. It just, yeah, this is, and it's about 7.8%. I was trying to make it a 7%. It's so hard for me to brew a 7% IPA, which is really what I want to do. But this thing is rocking. It's got perfect carbonation. Yeah, it's got a kind of a dry finish, but with a little bit of sweetness in the back of the tongue. Not a whole lot, just a hint. And then that nice kind of even, smooth bittering. And I normally use Magnum. I'm going to try this again and do Magnum and see what the difference is between CTZ and Magnum. But I really am digging the Simcoe and Cascade combination. I think it works pretty well. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm going to do a bunch of IPAs this year. This is the first of many, I think. So, all right. Update on the brew system. So I've been down for a while since this last brew day. A lot of stuff has happened in the house. So we had a new sprinkler. Actually, we had a tree removed. Our neighbor removed a tree at the front of our yard. Or maybe it was our neighbor removed a tree, and it was right near where the power neutral is grounded into the yard. And apparently the tree company cut through that and didn't tell the power company. They said they would, but they didn't. So the power company never fixed it. So then we had a sprinkler system put in our front and backyard. And when the poor guys came to cut into the copper tubing for the water underground in our front and backyards, as soon as that saw hit, sparks flew, they could hear the power, arc, and it blew light bulbs and all kinds of stuff in our house. So come to find out, the tree company that was contracted by the power company to come and take down the tree, they did not report the neutral was damaged or cut through. So our house was without a neutral, and I guess that's a bad thing. I'm not an electrician, but anyway, when the guys came out to cut the the copper tubing, sparks fly and all that, I guess they could have died. It's thank God that didn't happen. That would have sucked. It would have sucked in more ways than one. But what did happen, once we got all the power back in the house, the one thing that didn't work was my electrical brew control. I was hoping it wasn't the box itself, and it has a kind of a dryer outlet on a 30 amp circuit breaker that I had to run specifically for the brew control on the wall right opposite of where my dryer is, which has a similar power hock. So what I was able to do was unscrew the EBC from my wall, take it over, plug it into the dryer outlet, and it worked. So I knew that the box was undamaged. So then I'm like, okay, it's either a short in the wire or it's the circuit breaker, the 30 amp circuit breaker. So had an electrician come today and fix it, and I'll put up a picture. I'm back up. So now I got to do a brew day. So anyway, yeah, my son is home from college right now. He's here for the next week. I think he goes back on Sunday, I think. So yeah, life is all good. We're enjoying having the whole family together, and I think that's about it. Man, this beer is good. I don't know if any beer mills are going to go out with this. I'll try to bottle up some, but man, this thing is drinking really well. Man, when you have a good IPA on tap, it just doesn't last long. It's just so damn good. Anyway, have yourself, a short one this week. Sorry, I'm 7 minutes. I'm okay. Have yourself a happy homebrew and have a very, very happy homebrew Wednesday. Cheers.